So I'm here with the Dutchmen, man. Thank you for joining me. Like, I feel like you're one of like, the dopest artists in Chicago. Like, very underrated, collaborated. Like, all the artists I respect, and like, you know what I mean, and stuff. Really making like great music, man. Can you tell me a little bit like what was it like growing up in Chicago?
Oh, well, same as gang life, and you know what I mean. Typical, normal Chicago life. You know what I'm saying? It was cool for me though. You know what I mean? It was kind of reality. You know what I'm saying? I've been all over Chicago. You know what I'm saying? South Side, 92nd and Halsted. You know what I'm saying? Moved around. Ended up on 75th and Union. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit everywhere. Downtown, North Side, South Burbs, Dalton. You know what I'm saying? Especially. You know what I mean? So I was kind of everywhere, and I got the chance to vibe with all different people from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? All different areas. So it was dope. It's easy to write a story, to write my music. You know what I'm saying? And based off what I've been through or the areas I've been in. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I was watching your Young Gotti interview, and you were talking about like, growing up, like, your father like leaving home, and like, basically like, that like, led to like, in high school, being in a position where you had to get money on your own.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, typical Chicago family. You know what I mean? Pops was rad out, but I mean, I still was in contact with Pops, but he wasn't in the house. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, you can't ask mom for everything. You know what I'm saying? So she's already struggling, so you got to do what you got to do in order to stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, all through high school, doing what I had to do, hustling, and which led to college years, which was more hustling, you know what I mean, which led to after that, which was more hustling, and then, once I met Traxter and then all that, I mean, after a while, it just kind of faded out, you know what I'm saying?
You were actually an intern for Traxter, which I thought was like really interesting. You were going for college for engineering.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Where were you studying music at?
School, the Art Institute of Chicago downtown.
Wow, like, what I'm saying, same school as Kanye West, like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you went to the Art Institute. Like, it's a really nice vibe. I've had the experience of like shooting like some short films with people from there.
Yep.
What was it like going to the Art Institute?
It was different. Me coming from a hood, you know what I'm saying? I had to adjust, to the life down there. I also lived downtown when I was going to school down there because I wanted the whole experience, you know what I'm saying? So it was definitely different, you know what I mean? But like I said, I took the hustling out there. I think I kind of corrupted that whole experience by doing that, But no, it was definitely different. There was a few of us in there though. The cool kids, one of the cool kids was in classes with me all the time. I mean, but like I said, we never knew where we were going, you know what I'm saying? So, but I ended up meeting Traxler, and I was interning for him through a friend, and I just kept being persistent, you know what I mean? I told him I really wanted to rap, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get around, but my true goal is to make music, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. When would you say like you like actually like made progress, like from being an intern to being a rapper? Like, how was that transition?
That was dope. It was like well, as an intern, Trax was real busy at the time, you know what I mean? So it was like I was around all the artists that he was working with. So like if he had an artist in and he would have to go do something, I'll be the one left building with the artist, you know what I mean, or smoking with the artist or whatever, you know what I mean? So like I built a lot of relationships doing that, you know what I mean? And then I started playing music for him. He started hearing it, you know what I'm saying? He started hearing it, and it was a major transition. It was like my man Dundee, rest in peace, Trax's brother, he was messing with me, you know what I mean? Dub, the gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of artists, direct from Triple Darkness, there was a lot of artists messing with me, you know what I mean? So I had to take my time,
We were kind of talking on the phone, and you were saying like you were inspired by like a lot of artists in the 90s. Who would you say like are some of your biggest influences?
Oh, Tupac Shakur, Death Row period in general, you know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, definitely, Scarface, Twista, hands down Twista, you know what I mean? Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, Lil Wayne, Psychodrama, Triple Darkness, D.A. Smart,
Oh,
Sean,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Sean, the Snipers. Everybody that I know now was influenced me. Everybody that like I actually be around now definitely greatly influenced me to who I am today.
What do you think is like the biggest difference between like artists from today, like to like artists like from that era?
Difference?
Yeah, like do you see any difference?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the sound or the just the whole process.
Both.
Yeah, I mean, the kids do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a little speeded up. It's a little more dramatic, and I think like the music we were coming from was more pain filled. It was more coming from a pain state. You know what I mean? Like I had to be in a certain mind state to write. You know what I mean? Like it was a painful, let it be broke or going through something. It was a painful thing. Now music is coming from more of a amped area, excitement area. You know what I mean? Just a beat more process.
What's it like, recording with like, some of the legendary Chicago artists, I think of like, Twister, like, G Count, Psychodrama, like, you have songs with these people.
Right, right. I mean, it was dope. I think everyone I've actually had a chance to work with was dope. G Count. G Count was definitely a very memorable experience. You know what I'm saying? G Count is one of the most talented artists from Chicago, hands down, and he's underrated. You know what I mean? He's definitely underrated, but he's definitely him. King Louis,
Right.
working with. I mean, but my main time was probably with Traxler. I had 9 years with Traxler, so just watching him work, watching him, build and how the way he critique things and how the way he go about things is just a total different essence of things. The way he master, mix, it's just totally different from, and then you get with that and then you see how everything else goes and it's like, oh yeah, he was different. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's at where he's at now. You know what I mean? So definitely big ups to Traxler. Shout out to Traxler. He's working with Kanye now. You know what I'm saying? Like he taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Taught me a lot on how to go about the rest of my career.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize and stuff like how politicized like the Chicago music scene is. Like, what is like some of the challenges being like an independent artist, like, to get your music, like, exposure?
That's hard. As a Chicago artist,
Yeah.
that's hard. It's like we have to leave the city in order to do it. I don't know if you noticed that. We really have to leave the city in order to do it. Twister is one of the rare ones that didn't leave and still represent us. You know what I mean? It's still local. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's a blessing. You know what I mean? But most of the artists now, in order to, it's like they're scared to come here or something. Because there's no way that we don't have
Infrastructure.
infrastructure downtown or something. Like that's insane. Even if it's R&B, like this is a talented city. Let it be acting, rapping, singing. You know what I mean? Like we kind of like running the game now. So it's like it's crazy that they don't build that around in our city. But yeah, we have to leave the city in order to be noticed.
Yeah, like 100%. Like I feel like there is like a lot of like talented artists like in Chicago, and then I see like them not necessarily getting the exposure that like comparable artists do, and like it seems like a weird like just like dichotomy. You know, what's next for you is like as far as your career, like making music?
Man, I'm actually I've been making music with B-Lo from Do or Die lately, for the last 5-6 years, and I kind of slowed down on it, you know what I mean, because I'm getting older, you know what I'm saying, so it's like, I didn't have a baby, you know what I mean, life get to life, you know what I'm saying, but the music still called me, and I know the streets still need me, so I'm still trying to put out music. I mean, I'm working on a project. Hopefully I can get dubbed the gangster out of retirement to finish this project with me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working on a project. I mean, it's really for the love. You know what I mean? It's all for the love, for the fans. You know what I mean?
Where's your artist name, the Dutchmen, come from?
Hoodlum.
Okay.
I used to watch movies. You know what I'm saying? So Hoodlum. You know what I mean? At the time, Bum J was out. Mainstream, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to think, you know what I mean, Dutch came from the same movie, you know what I'm saying? So I had to just articulate something like that, you feel me? But I mean, like I said, all that was a process. I had a million horrible names before. Straight up.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bum J, man. Like, I feel like, like legal situations, like, seem to be like a common theme for like Chicago rappers, like where they are derailed sometimes by like legal situations. Like do you see that, or like can you speak to like why that is?
You said legal situations?
Yeah, like for instance, like what I mean, like Bum J, like what I mean, and stuff, like he had the Move Around single, like and then like he was like indicted for I think like a bank robbery.
All those type of situations.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what, honestly, that's because like it ain't what it seemed to be. Like it really ain't. I mean, and I got close enough. I got close. You know what I'm saying? And I realized it really ain't what it seemed to be. I mean, eventually it get there, but a lot of that is just smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? So, Chicago niggas still they gonna figure out how to get it regardless. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of smoke and mirrors until you get really your feet wet in the game. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you really just out there hustling.
Right. Like, what would be your advice to artists like who are just starting like in music? Like, can you offer them any insight, like approach?
Learn your shit. Learn your publishing, learn all that. I don't care though, if you got a manager, whatever, just still learn it yourself. Read up on it, learn about your royalties, learn how to get your money, your streams, all that. Learn how to get your money yourself. And I guarantee you it'll go way farther in the long range. You know what I'm saying? I was one that didn't do that. You know what I mean? When I started, it was no Instagram. You know what I'm saying? It was Facebook, but it was like it just started. Facebook was like just for college kids at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's how it started. So it was like, it was no Instagram. If I could have Instagram me living in LA or living downtown, anything, it'd have took off. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it was none of that. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to rap at the time, and I was just blessed to be around. You know what I'm saying? The people I grew up listening to. I didn't dig into that until later on, and by then I already was 3 albums in, 3 mixtapes in. You know what I'm saying? So and that did 50,000 views back in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? That. So it's like, get your money right, you know what I mean? Focus on your streams. Trust me, I mean, it's a whole different game now. Like the NBA, it's a whole different game. Like you're getting paid way more for way less. You know what I'm saying? Learn your money. You know what I mean? Learn how to get your money.
Do you have like a renewed sense of hope? Because it seems like ageism isn't as big of an issue as it was like in like the mid 90s. I think like you see a lot of artists who are having successful careers longer. Like Killer Mike just won a Grammy. He's
Yeah.
40 plus. Does that give you a little bit of hope, like for music?
It does, because I know that those fans are still out here. You know what I mean? I know that those fans are still out here. And like I said, it was all for the love anyway. It was just Tupac and the rappers I used to listen to used to just make me want to make music. I never thought I'd be in no fancy mansion off of it. You know what I mean? I just wanted to make music, and then I just got good at making music. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but I think that I'm gonna drop one more album before this is over.
Most definitely, man. I look forward to hearing it. You've met some of the dopest artists like I respect in the game, like Jadakiss. What was it like meeting Jadakiss?
Jadakiss was dope. Jadakiss was real dope. Jadakiss was one of the realest artists I have met. You know what I mean? I'm talking about he was behind the red rope and removed the red rope just to come kick it in the hood in the trenches with us. You know what I'm saying? It was me and a couple of guys, and it was like, that was dope. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the realest. Salute to Jadakiss all the time, straight up. Salute to Jadakiss. Salute to Warren G. Me and Warren G, super cool. You know what I'm saying? I done ran into Warren G a few times, so now me and Warren G super cool. Like, it's a lot of people that I done ran into 50 once.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. I got to go back and think. It's a lot of people I was running into for a good minute. Yeah, you know what I mean? Definitely. And that motivated me to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to be meeting these people for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Back to like the business aspect of it, like do you feel like what is like the best approach, like to get your music out there? Like a lot of artists like have like a strategy to get their music synced, like in like different TV shows and stuff like that, or like or Rever is just like putting it online and hoping like it goes viral, like on TikTok or something. Like, what do you like, see as like, being like a viable strategy for you? Does it make a difference with the type of music that you make, or?
It does, because I make real music. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean by real music.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's a little different than what's going on right now. So it's like, I think all that is a dope outlet. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, at the time when we were doing it, 2002, 2003, 2004, it was like, that wasn't an option for us. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I have to figure all that out myself if I'm dropping new music, because like I said, they got outlets that we never even had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I would love for my stuff to be in the Shy, or, anything Chicago related, anything other than Chicago related. I would love, you know what I mean? I definitely make music for the times, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Being in Chicago, like during this interview, what is some of your favorite places in Chicago?
Some of the places, far as food.
Yeah, anywhere, like food, like just to, relax, entertainment.
Oh, I mean, well, entertainment, relaxing. I mean, I might hit up Chug a Lug or something. You know what I'm saying? Or I might go down to Kitchen and Cocktails or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of little spots. So hit a rooftop. You know what I mean? Most of the time, though, I'll be moving. I'll be definitely moving. Or, I might even hit Millennium Park in the middle of the night or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, low key on one of these 90-degree nights. You know what I'm saying?
Father's Day weekend just passed. 72 people were shot. The gun violence in the city, has been a problem. For as long as I've been alive, is that's something that you're cognizant of? Does it affect the way you move in the city?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's been since you've been born. So
Yeah.
that's a normal thing to move that way. I ain't been moving recklessly since I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible that we live in this situation. I remember one time I had a friend from LA, and he told me he still had all his friends, and I done lost at least 15 friends in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and I know it's just us. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a horrible situation, and I think it's horrible that we've grown accustomed to it, and it's normal at this point. I think that's horrible. You know what I'm saying? But like, what else can we do? I mean, it's life. You know what I mean? It's life for Chicagoans.
Do you feel like, as an artist that you have like a responsibility in your music? Because your music, I feel like is based in reality, but like I listen to like some other artists and it seems like they're promoting or glorifying like street violence, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Um, Definitely the new age, the drill music is a little pro street violence.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, don't get it twisted. Like in my music, I definitely talk about the same stuff in a different way, but it's like it's more of a reflection. You know what I'm saying? Than more than go do it. You know what I mean? It's more of like this is what we've seen, this is what we've been through. It's how it is in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But they're more like it's a little different. Their music is a little different.
Who would you say, man, is the top 5 Chicago rappers of all time?
Oh man. Well, Twista is definitely number one. I gotta go with B-Lo of Do or Die.
Okay.
It's gonna get hard. I wish it was gonna get hard because I know everybody. It's gonna get hard. Man, I gotta say Common.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna get hard. Top 5. I think Count.
Yeah.
I gotta put G Count in there. I got one more. I gotta go with E-Dub the Gangster.
Yeah. Before you pulled up, I was listening to your song with G Count, Cook County State of Mind, I think. Yeah, that's a dope song. Can you talk a little bit about like recording that song, the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, Abandon the Crook County, you know what I'm saying? It's the
Yeah.
first song on the Chicago State of Mind album. Dope album, you know what I mean? Released 2019. I listened to a lot of Death Row. I was listening to The Chronic and listened to Stranded on Death Row. And they were all in the cell. I'm like, that'd be dope, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, what if the cell was Chicago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we abandoned in Crook County. We just stuck in here, like the whole Chicago was just a jail. We can't get out, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that would have been dope concept, you know what I'm saying? So once I recorded, E-Dub came on there with me. And then I was like, who would be perfect to describe it so descriptive other than Young Buck from Psychodrama and G Count from LEP. And so I reached out to Buck because me and Buck have been close since I've been in a group with Seawall, with Direct from Triple Darkness, and that's his best friend. So they make albums together. So I reached out to Buck, and we got it done. And then I reached out to G Count, and we got it done. But G Count, like I said, G Count went in there, and I don't know, I could have swore he freestyled the whole 16.
Wow.
He went in there and freestyled the whole 16. So it was like, I was shocked. It was dope. It was definitely dope. Shout out to Soundscape Studios. You know what
Right, man. Yeah, I saw like the photo of you, G Count, Jeff, from Soundscape.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yep, yep. You
yeah,
know,
he's a
yep.
dope engineer,
Dope
man.
engineer, dope engineer. I'm actually that's what I've been in contact with Jeff, and I'm probably that's what we're gonna handle my next project.
Yeah, yeah, he's incredible. Like how important is the engineer for your project?
Very important. A lot of people don't know this, right? Because I mean, I was rapping off instrumentals at first. Being with tracks that taught me that how important the engineer and the producer is. Like if he does what he's supposed to do, they make the song. You know, they pretty much make the song. So I mean, the engineer. If you don't find the right engineer, it's hard. But if you got that right engineer, it's magic. You can make magic. Anything you could dream of how it sounding, it can come now. You know, it can come on the album if you got the right engineer.
Definitely, man. The Dutchman. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you.
Yes,
Anybody you want to shout out?
Um, definitely shout out E-Dub the Gangster, you know what I'm saying, who been riding with me this whole time, you know what I'm saying. Shout out Milo of Do or Die, you know what I mean, Poe House, the whole Poe House family. Shout out the Trackster for, you know what I'm saying, making me who I am today, you know what I mean, and the rest of the Seawall family. Shout out Direct from Triple Darkness. Shout out, you know, Sweet Juices, Lil Rob from the Snipers, everybody, Twister, shout out everybody, Ty Nitty from Legit Ballers, everybody that's been riding with me, you know what I mean, and fucking with me this whole time, you know what I'm saying, I've been in the game, I signed my first contract in 2006, so it's almost 20 years, it's been 18 years, you know what I'm saying, with about like 4 mixtapes and about 5 albums. It's been a good run, you know what I'm saying, so yeah, shout out to everybody that's been fucking with me, you know what I mean? All my niggas that's been riding with me this whole time, you know what I mean? The fans, the supporters, you know what I mean? The people that's willing to work with me, that be easy. Everybody, you know what I mean? That still draw off me to this day, you know what I mean? I fuck with y'all, salute, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know what I mean? It's definitely motivation to keep it moving. I normally drop on July 4th, but since we might miss that 4th, we just gonna follow up with this Halloween drop, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just dropped a single with my nigga Casino, Illy Ill, you know what I'm saying, from Poe House and E-Dub the Gangster, Sherman the Man. I Wanna Rock, remake of I Wanna Rock is on all platforms. We finna shoot the video, you know what I mean, salute.
Most definitely.